This is what liberation looks like. Kherson's central square tonight, where, with hands on hearts and with fires lit, the anthem they dared not sing was sung with passion. The soldiers who arrived today were treated as heroes in a city known for its watermelons. And with a fruit in one hand, a phone in the other, this one was mobbed by the people he has helped to free. We're with Ukrainian troops. They're on the advance. They're moving along roads which the Russians controlled until yesterday. To our right, artillery is fired. To our left, the spot where it lands. And all around, the exhaustion of a battle hard won, written on every face and with every weary footstep. We're among the first people to reach this liberated village. And it's the silence that catches our ears. The sound of a place where people learn to stay indoors for fear of who or what might be outside. No wonder. As soldiers go door to door, we find Ludmila. She's coaxed from her home after 8 months spent alone inside.
А я все время знала, що наші прийдуть і ми переможемо. Що відчула? Плакала. Плакала. Обнімала, цілувала і плакала. Бо гибнуть діти ні за що. Ні за що.
Then she returns inside to bring us a bunch of the grapes she's been growing during occupation. She saved many more for the liberating soldiers.
Thank you.
And protect the independence of Ukraine.
Roman is one of the soldiers heading towards Kherson. To him, its liberation means much more than the end of a mission.
I have a girlfriend, and she's must be here my wife in the future. But the war didn't let us.
He reaches the spot where Russian positions were deserted earlier this week and where soldiers brought up here have returned to fight.
This is our land, and this land belongs to us. This land, you know, I know all these trees since my childhood.
And for Roman, as it becomes clear that progress is now rapid, a call home.
На підходах до Херсону.
The boys are in Kherson, he says.
На зв'язочку, бувай.
And soon he will be too.
Well, the area regained today is to the north of the Dnipro River in southern Ukraine. Ukrainian forces had already made significant gains there, putting so much pressure on the occupiers that they were forced to withdraw to the other side of the river. And Rohit joins me now from Kryvyi Rih, northeast of Kherson, where there are power restrictions. Rohit, you witnessed, as we were seeing in that report, what's been described as one of the biggest setbacks for Russia since this war began. What do you think that this all means for Vladimir Putin, if you set the wider context?
Well, Raggy, it potentially means quite a lot. This was the worst day for Vladimir Putin and for Russia of all of the 261 days of this war so far. People talk about it as a symbolic defeat for Russia, a symbolic victory for Ukraine. But it's about much more than that. It's about two things that have been so important during this war so far. It's about momentum and it's about morale. No doubt the Russian troops are now highly demoralized. And so what happens next? Well, so important is Kherson in part because of its proximity to Crimea, and that's part of why this victory today has been so important. And you can see that from the fact that the Russians have been blowing up some of the bridges to prevent Ukrainian forces from advancing any further. So what next? After the victory of Kherson, Ukrainians are now looking towards Crimea, but there are so many hurdles, so much territory east of the Dnipro River is now controlled by the Russians, still controlled by the Russians, and so there's a great deal of work for the Ukrainians ahead.